Hernando Cortes was a Spanish explorer that discovered California and conquered parts of Mexico. This is the story of how he conquered the Aztec Empire.
I decided to sail away from Santiago de Cuba in 1519 to the small island of Cozumel in Mexico. I then sailed near the Yucatan Peninsula and went to Tabasco. The people of Tabasco gave my group 20 women to make peace, and one of them was Dona Maria. From there we sailed to Tlaxcala, then to Veracruz to gather troops to attack the Aztecs' capital of Tenochtitlan. We arrived with 500 men, 11 ships, some horses, and a cannon. This is my story on how I got tribes and how I conquered the Aztecs.
Dona Maria would be an important person in their discoveries, for she spoke both Mayan and the Aztec language. She also had the natives' intentions for the white men.
Hello, I'm Hernando Cortes. We have come from Spain to conquer some of the New World and gain gold and treasures from the Aztecs.
You will need an interpreter on your trip. I can do that for you as I speak the Aztec language.
Thank you. It will be of great assistance.
In order to conquer, you will need to get some of the enemies on your side. If you conquer the Aztec enemy tribes, you can get some tips on how to attack those tribes. Would probably want us to help conquer the Aztec capital.
So Cortes traveled around Mexico to get other cities to help conquer the Aztec Empire. Thousands of them agreed to join the fight and march toward Tenochtitlan.
Let's begin marching towards the Aztec capital.
As they got closer, Cortes's army was awed by the beauty of the city and its huge pyramid-like buildings. They were surprised that the city was much bigger than any of the European cities at the time. It had more than 150,000 citizens, but Cortes's army was only made of 500 soldiers.
Most would not think of entering and attacking this grand city, but I'm greedy, glorious, and very determined for riches.
All this time, Montezuma was sending Cortes's groups letters and riches from the capital. As the army tread closer to the city, Cortes and his soldiers defeated any locals that were in the way.
Welcome. I am the Aztec leader. I have heard so much about you from my messengers. Now let me take you up to the tower of Sun God and show you around. It will also give you a chance to talk.
So Cortes was allowed to enter, and his men went up to the tower of the god to speak with the Aztec leader, Montezuma.
Hello, I'm Hernando Cortes, and I've traveled a long way from Spain. I expect that you're Montezuma.
I will give you a castle to stay in while you visit.
So Cortes spent a few days outside of the grand city of Tenochtitlan, staying in his beautiful castle and receiving gifts of gold and silver. But a few days later, Cortes's group decided to attack the Aztecs. Cortes thought the act of human sacrifice was horrific, so Cortes questioned Montezuma's ways.
Why do you sacrifice humans? I find that horrific.
We feel very strongly about the gods. We believe that performing human sacrifice will bring us good weather and that will bring us good crops.
Cortes ordered that his men would build a fleet to take to Lake Texaco. Cortes believed that they can take Tenochtitlan by siege. The Aztecs were already weakened by the smallpox that were brought by Europeans of that time. After taking over the lake, they reassembled the ships to head to the Aztec capital. The siege only lasted 60 days. Montezuma got hit in the head by a rock, and no one knows who killed him. The fight was brutal, and the Aztec emperor soon told his men to surrender. Cortes defeated the Aztecs and got rich with their wealth. He soon became famous, and that brings us to the end of Cortes's story.